Okay, at this point in our wealth creation course, we're now going to get to some how-tos. Not that I haven't given you some how-tos, but I'm going to give you what I call some new success methods. These are some actual exercises that you can use. And all of these exercises are designed to help you to raise your vibration, to start emitting more of a positive signal, to have that radio tower that you are, to emit a very positive signal that will attract more positive signals, more abundance, and more wealth into your life. One of the first things I want you to do is start seeing things as coming to you, not you going to them. Here's what I mean by that. I remember doing listening to a meditation CD by Wayne Dyer. It was called Getting in the Gap. And as Wayne is talking about the introduction of how to manifest your desires and how to bring things into your life, he talked about picturing or doing the visualization and actually seeing the thing that you wanted coming toward you. Now, this is a very interesting concept. It's a very Eastern philosophy and concept, because in the West we have such a proactive, we have such a I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to go out and get it. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to, we all of us have, go get what you want, go for it. Just do it. We have a proactive way of manifesting things. If you want something, then go get it. Well, in actuality, really one of the best effortless ways to receive success is to let things come to you, is to stop being resistant. And one of the things in your visualization, you'll notice in most cases when you're visualizing the car, the money, the trip, the new relationship, you'll usually see yourself as proactively going toward it. And it really blew my mind when I listened to Wayne in this thing, and he talked about letting the thing come to you, to remove your resistance, to remove the things that were blocking the thing from coming to you, and to just let things come to you. This is a very powerful thing that you can add to your visualizations. So as you're visualizing, say for example, you're visualizing your team growing and maybe some new leaders coming into your team, and you can see them, in your genealogy or in your hierarchy or your organizational chart. You can picture them coming in. Instead of you going to them, picture these leaders actually coming into your organization, coming to you. They're calling you, they're seeking you. Someone referred me to you and thought that I might be good for your business. See it as effortlessly happening. In most cases, when you're visualizing, you're seeing yourself running out toward the thing you want and going after it and getting it, and letting things come to you and changing your visualization so things are actually moving toward you in an effortless way is a much easier and much more efficient way to manifest things. I also want you to start actually changing your story. Many of you have a story, and it's things that you think about, it's things that you say, and it's also your feeling. You have a feeling that bad things are going to happen to you. You have a feeling that no matter how hard you work, you're never going to be able to get ahead. You have a feeling that things just don't work out for you. As you get close to success, it gets snatched from you, or the vehicle changes, or the territory gets moved, or the promotion levels get changed. Many of you have a story that does not support your ability to be successful and to attract abundance and wealth and joy and new relationships. So I want you to start telling a new story, thinking a new story, and feeling a new story. Change your story. Everything works out for me. Things come easily to me. I attract great people into my network marketing business. I always make the sale. I love talking about the price. I am a great closer. I have tremendous confidence. Everybody I get in front of buys. Everybody I call books an appointment with me. See the story? Many of you do not have a story. You don't feel this way when you wake up. You feel, oh, what horrible thing is going to happen today? What cancellation of product or a teammate is going to quit today? how is the company or one of my vendors going to screw me or charge me more? The government's going to start charging me more. The price of gas is going to go up. I can't seem to get ahead. That story doesn't support your success. You need to change your story. So many of you need a new story. You need to start talking in a different way. You need to start relating in a different way. You need to start feeling a different way. Everything works out for me. Everything happens is in sync for me. My bags come first off the plane. I always get in the right lane of traffic. I always call on the right customer at the right time. I always speak in front of a group that is ready and eager to have me there, and they buy tons of my material. See that story? You need to change your story to a good, positive story that everything works out for you, that life is supposed to be good, and that you attract great things in your life. Try it. Change your story for 30 days. It'll make a huge difference for you. Number 3 success method, never, ever, 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 ever again speak about things that you don't want. Don't gossip about people. Don't talk about bad things. Don't talk about bad weather. Don't talk about bad economy. Don't talk about bad gas prices. Don't talk about people that are mean or rude or killings or murders or things that you see on the news, so on and so forth. Never, ever again speak about something that you don't want. Don't call people up and say, "How are you?" and then let them dump negative stuff on you, and then you dump negative stuff on them. Well, things aren't going well, or I'm not feeling well. Never, ever again speak about things that you don't want. Remember, if you speak about things that you don't want, you will create a life of more things that you don't want. So you want to really change the way that you're speaking. You'll notice that when you speak to other people, you talk to the other salespeople in your office, you talk to other people in your network marketing business, you'll have a tendency to focus on what's not going well and what's not working. You got to change that story and talk about what's working. Talk about what is feels good. Notice what is good. I want you to start saying yes to everything. I want you to say yes. When you say yes, even if it's the wrong thing, even if it's the wrong person, even if it's the wrong account, when you say yes to things, even if it doesn't work out, you will know what you don't want, which will get you clearer about what you do want. Too many of you are hesitant. Too many of you don't ask for the order. You don't ask for the business. You don't make the recommendation. You don't encourage people to do things, and you don't do them yourselves. You need to start saying yes to everything. You need to say yes. You need to say yes. You need to say yes, because saying yes to things will bring you closer to more things that you want. Even if the thing that you said yes to is not perfect, it's getting you clearer about what you want. And I guarantee you that getting clearer about what you want is an absolutely fantastic and very, very smart thing to do. I want you to, number 5, I want you to appreciate everything. Even the smallest little thing, I want you to focus on what is good to attract more good things. Even if you focus on and celebrate the small victories, you'll attract the larger ones. This is a Durkheimized version of the law of attraction. Celebrate the small victories. Appreciate tiny little things. The other day, I went into my bathroom, and I recently redid the tile in my bathroom. And for some of you who've seen me do webinars from my kitchen will know I've had a hole in my kitchen ceiling for about a year and a half, 2 years. Couldn't figure out where the leak was coming from. We thought it was the plumbing. I redid the plumbing, or redid the shower, and finally somebody convinced me. They said, just redo the entire floor. So I redid the floor. I invested the money to do that, and the leak stopped. I was able to redo the kitchen ceiling and start renovating the kitchen, and it feels so good. And the other day, I walked into the bathroom and I just said, I'm just going to appreciate how great it is that nothing leaks in this floor, that I can get water on the floor now and it doesn't come pouring out of the kitchen ceiling. What a silly thing. You might say, MJ, what a silly thing. But I got to tell you, it really made me feel good to think of how long I had been in this situation that I didn't like and how I finally solved it. And I just savored it. I just appreciated it. And I could tell you, if you can really start to savor things, if you've listened or read any of my daily quotes on wealth creation, and you've seen me go through the list of, savor your cup of coffee in the morning, savor the sunset, excuse me, the sunrise. I did it again. The sunrise. As the sun rises and you savor and marvel at the light coming up, over the mountains or over the hill, or however the light comes into your house. If you can savor the fact that you've got some hot water perhaps in your shower, maybe you have electricity. Boy, last year we were out of electricity in October for about 8 days. Boy, we never appreciated electricity and internet service so much as having to go down to Starbucks to get internet, get a hot cup of coffee, and turn on a light. Every time we'd walk into a room, we'd automatically go to flip the light switch and no lights would come on. Wow, what a frustrating thing, and what an amazing thing the night that the lights came on, and to walk into the bathroom and turn that light switch on and really appreciate the fact that electricity was flowing. Boy, I can't wait to pay my bill. It's great to have electricity. Savor and appreciate everything in your life, and if you appreciate the small things, if you can appreciate the fact that you do have a home, that you have, walls and a roof. Maybe it's not your dream home, but boy, if you can find the things that you do love about that home and focus on the things that you love, the view, the great warmth in the home, the beautiful colors that you've painted the walls. It may not be perfect, but if you can find the things that you like and you can savor them and you can appreciate them, I guarantee you a bigger or a better or a nicer home is coming. You've got to learn how to appreciate. You've got to become a master at appreciating things. I'm going to talk to you now about some exercises to really raise your vibration, to bring you to the level of success. Again, to give you some real live, if you will, how-tos, or some actual games that you can play or things that you can do to actually raise your vibration. One of the number one things I would suggest for an exercise is to go on a news fast. Yes, not to have news come at you very fast, but to actually fast and to not have any news. I would suggest starting with a 30-day run, and then I would do a 60-day run, and then I'd do a 90-day run. Don't read any newspapers. Try not to look at ads, news headlines on the internet, on Facebook. Maybe get an opening page on the internet that maybe talks about sports, or about not with the major headlines coming in. This person killed, these people are dead, so on and so forth. Eliminate the news. What the news does is it takes a small amount of negative things, really a small amount of negative, and magnifies them 1,000,000 times. They report on them 12 different ways. They bring in specialists to tell you how bad the situation is, and they analyze it and they blow it up, and now they even have, as you're watching one thing on the screen, then more on the ticker tape on the bottom now brings more bad news in, further developments, further developments. What's the line? A breaking story. Well, the breaking stories are usually bad stories, and the news is one of the big contributors to lowering your vibration. Starting out your morning or ending your day by watching the news and hearing about all of the things that are not going well in the world is not a way to raise your vibration. I can't tell you, whenever I do a post on Facebook about going on a news fast and not having the news in your face, I get a tremendous amount of response of people that have said that they have greatly changed their lives by not listening to the news. It is a really, really great tip. It'll help you to raise your vibration. Go on a news fast for 30, 60, 90 days and see how it makes you feel. You want to feel better. As I described before, here's an exercise. No complaining. No complaining allowed. My friend Kevin Mullins said, complaining weakens faith. I love that. Complaining weakens faith. No more complaining. Do not complain about conditions. Do not complain that it is too hot. Do not complain to people that you don't have enough money. Don't complain about the things that are going wrong. You want to only talk about things that are going well. I want you to go again, take a 30 or a 60-day time period. Start with a 30-day time period and say no more complaining. Complaining weakens faith. Stop talking about things that are wrong. Stop complaining about things that are not going well. And you'll see more and more things will go well, and you'll attract more good things to yourself. Play the good news game. We have such a great time with this game in our family. We always say to each other, hey, want to hear some good news? Hey, want to hear some good news? Hey, want to hear some good news? We've got 786 people are signed up for the webinar tonight. Hey, want to hear some good news? I just saved 10% on my car insurance. No. Want to hear some good news? I just saved us $50 a month on our cable bill. I asked for a discount. I got that. Believe me, playing the good news game, whenever you say this to people, hey, do you want to hear some good news? In our company, we'll call each other all the time and say, hey, want to hear some good news? I just booked a gig for you in Seattle. You're going to go speak to 500 people. Hey, want to hear some good news? I just got a great lead and put a great lead on my list. Hey, want to hear some great news? We just saved money. We just did this great thing. Something went well for me. Somebody gave me a great testimonial or a compliment. I called up our office the other day and I said, hey, you want to hear some great news? They said, yeah. I said I was doing a program in Kansas, in Olathe, Kansas, and a salesman, a realtor, chartered a plane, flew several hours to my seminar and sat in my seminar and said that he had taken our seminar in January, and it had completely changed his business around, turned his business around, and 5 days after he took our recommendation selling course, he received a check, a commission check for $25,000 as a result of what he learned in recommendation selling. I couldn't wait to call my office and call the people in our company and say, hey, want to hear some great news? Somebody took recommendation selling and said it made him $25,000. That's great news. You want to celebrate great news. You want to shout it from the rooftops. And if you start all of your conversations with, hey, you want to hear some great news, you'll find people will be eager for your call. They'll want you to call them. They'll want you to interact with them. They'll love it when you call up and say, hey, do you want to hear some good news? An appreciation exercise can be done at any place, at any time. If you're feeling bad, if you want to raise your vibration, you need to appreciate even the smallest thing and just keep ratcheting it up and appreciate. I was in the post office the other day and I was in a long line and I said, okay, what can I appreciate here? And I said, you know what I can appreciate? The people here at this post office. We have a little New England town of about 34,000 people. And we've got a pretty cool post office. It's not as functional and the lines don't move as fast as we might like in our little town. But one of the things I decided to notice was I noticed that Helen and Sue and Dean were all there, all people that I knew. Of course, we mail a lot of things out at MJ Durkin seminars, but I focused on the fact that they were such nice people, and they really are. They really are great hometown people. They always advise you the best way to send stuff, and they're always very pleasant. And I said, the line is very long. I don't like this long line. I don't want this, but what do I like? Well, I really like the fact that the people here are really nice. And then I said, and I do like the fact that the post office is pretty roomy, and at least there's room for this line, and it's not a bad place at all. And I looked around and I was appreciating some of the posters that were on the wall and the stamps. And I got myself in a pretty good vibration, even though I was in a long line. I could have stewed about the line. I could have been impatient about the line. I could have been frustrated about the line. Instead, I looked around the post office for things that I could appreciate that made me feel a little better. And thinking about the great people that were there and their positive attitudes definitely raised my vibration. The line went pretty quickly, and before you knew it, I was out of there and on to the next thing. You can write down your appreciations. You can say them to yourself. You can meditate on them. I recommend that if you really want to raise your vibration, that you take a notebook out and you write down all of the things that you're appreciative of. Write down the things that you're expecting, great things that you're expecting. I expect, great success here. I expect new customers here. I expect new teammates here. If you keep a list every day, I know some people that meditate and then they write down a list of positive things that have happened to them or that they expect to happen to them. Appreciate, appreciate, appreciate. The more you appreciate things, the more you'll activate and you'll send a great signal out and you'll attract more and more good stuff. I highly recommend 15 minutes minimum of meditation every morning or every evening or a lunch hour or wherever you can fit it in. 15 minutes to meditate, to quiet your mind, to get in touch with your inner resources, to get in touch with the God of your understanding. This is to pray. To pray for people, to pray for our world, to pray for people's souls, whatever is on your mind. This 15 minutes of connecting to source energy, to connecting to God, to connecting to peace, whatever you want to call it, can be very, very helpful to your success. Many of us have crazy schedules. We're overwhelmed. We have a lot of stuff going on. What a great thing to do if you can find 10 to 15 minutes to be quiet, listen to some soothing music, play a meditation CD, something of that nature. Meditating every morning will absolutely help you raise your vibration. I want you to focus on what is good. I don't want you to go backwards. I don't want you to say, well, this is good, but I'm not there yet. Again, it's the small victories that will lead to the larger ones. Many of you accomplish something great. You bring in a lot of money, you sponsor a whole bunch of new people, and then you immediately turn to find out what's wrong with that or what's wrong with something else. Like, well, yes, I brought in 15 grand the other day, but I got bills for 16 grand. So that's not good. That's terrible. You want to focus on what is good. Many of you, what you do is you go backwards. Something good happens, then you immediately say, oh, sure, that's good, but this hasn't been fixed yet, or this is still a problem, or I still have that bill, or I still have that debt. And what you want to really do is really build on and focus on what is good and build on that from there and keep appreciating it and focus on what is good, because what you focus on expands and what you ignore diminishes. What you focus on expands and what you ignore or don't talk about, don't think about, diminishes. That's why I want you talking about and thinking about and focusing on what is good rather than what is negative. I also want you to stay away from negative people. I want you to stay away from people that will give you problems, that want to complain about things, that want to tell you stories about things that are wrong. What you focus on expands, and what you ignore diminishes. So if you have people that are in your life, I have to tell you, I have no time for people that want to suck energy from me. I have no time for people that want to complain or that want to attack me or that want to say, well, you're pretty good, but you're not good here, or you need to fix this. I got to tell you, I have no time for any of that. And I'm not mad at those people. I'm not frustrated with them. I don't call them as much. I kind of ignore the people that I don't like, that don't support me, that don't help me, that don't talk positively. And they almost always just kind of diminish, and they just kind of don't show up as much, and they don't call me as much, and they don't send me emails as much, and I don't see them on Facebook. And boy, people that don't fit for me, that don't fit my vibration, I just ignore them and I let them go away, and I attract tons of people that love to say stuff to me like, want to hear some good news. Hey, let's focus on what's good. Hey, here's a couple of men on our men's team. We'll call each other up and we'll say, tell me 3 things that are going well for you. There's another good game to play. Tell me 3 things that are going well for you. Is a great game to play with somebody. Just call them up and say, tell me, and then they'll usually say, well, tell me 3 things that are going great for you. Well, I sold this customer, I made this money, I sponsored this person, I had a great time with my I was telling my friends tonight, I had a great time with my sister and my niece the other day. Such a cute little girl, 6 years old, and I had such a great time with her. I hadn't seen her in 4 or 5 months, and it was wonderful to see her. And I just focused on what a wonderful and great experience that was. It was fantastic. Avoid negative people, ignore them, stay away from them, and they'll go away. They won't be in your existence.